Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Capricorn, we have the Aeon card. I love this card because really the energy is we're going from one cycle, we are into the next, or it is beginning. That can be a really blissful, wonderful, exciting thing. It can also be something that's really scary and anxious, and you don't really know how things are going to go. I immediately think the universe is ready. Now, are you ready? Because everybody's in the car and we're just waiting for you to get on in. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So let's see, Capricorn. We're going to go ahead. We're going to turn this thing. We're going to see what the tea leaves have to say. Now, I want to point out here we have, it looks like a little stick. It looks like a magic wand even. And I'm going to go ahead and say that's the Ace of Wands. So we have passion. It's even like right there on the doorway. A big fat kiss from that wand energy. We have creativity. We have passion. We have that that fire that we need to get things really, really going, okay? So that is a wonderful, wonderful sign to see at the beginning there. Okay, and let's go ahead. We're going to lift this thing up without dropping it, hopefully. And okay, so immediately we don't even have to turn this thing yet. I want to look at these images we have. And again, I want to say welcome. Thank you for deciding to spend your time here with me. It really is a huge honor for me. Okay, so we have a person standing here. You can see where the head would be, the arms, the body, the legs down here. We have the moon. We have them holding, it looks like, the letter Z, we have right here, the letter Z. We also have, I just am imagining that this is a key. I know it doesn't, it looks like a key right there though to me. So I feel like this is the key. Now we also have the wishbone right here. Okay, and then we have a person beneath. And it looks like they're wearing a robe, almost like they're a magician or a sorcerer of some kind. We have a person over here who is picking things up. We have over here, it looks like two people communing together, the union. We have two people over here communing together, another sign of union. We also have the spade right here. So I feel like there is this real sense of seeing things quite clearly. We also have a person down here holding the number 2, and there is a snake who is coiled, popping up to eat it. Okay, so I want to look at all this stuff together. So what really, it feels like to me is you have been trying to get all of your bases covered, right? I feel like you're trying to get every sector of your life in balance, getting all of the things flowing together, really kind of maybe minimizing some of the extras, the distractions, the things pulling you this way, that way, and that's where we lose most of our time. In the last year, have taken a big step back once again. I do this every couple years. I'm on social media and then I'm off social media. On social media, I'm never all or nothing, right? So I realized, especially in this last year, because my daughter's older, we're busier, I have a million things going on. I also have a business and a household to run and so on and so forth. We have a few acres that I take care of. We take care of. And so it's a lot. There's a lot going on. And I realized how much time I was losing in between just checking. Not even engaging, but just checking. checking notifications, checking my email, checking my messages, checking this, checking that, checking this, checking that. And by the end of the day, it adds up to how long? I don't know. Too long, probably. So what I feel like is the same kind of energy where you start to look around at your life and you're thinking, well, maybe I'm spending a little bit too much money in this sector of my life and not enough time over here. I'm not home enough. Maybe I'm eating out, one meal too many and I need to kind of save some money, or, I've always wanted to get into meal prepping and I'm kind of standing in my own way by not allowing that to happen, or, we get to these places in our lives. And I often think that it does coincide with a change, right? Like a change of season, we change the clothes around. If you live in a climate like me where it snows a lot and then the summers are very humid, yeah, we have to rotate our closets. We have to put away all of that heavy clothes and stuff and bring forth the cooler things. But also, it could be like when school ends. You have kids, school ends. Of course, you're going to be rearranging your life because your schedule's changing, right? The things that you need to do are going to change. Your time is going to change. And so I feel like it's the same kind of energy where it's like I want to declutter things. I want them to run smoothly. And also, there's something going on in my life, and I'm talking about you. There's something going on that is kind of the catalyst for all of this change. Now, the relationship seems important. There needs to be some kind of communication. Okay, I don't know if this is your significant other, if this is like your best friend, if this is your mom, if this is, somebody you're very close to. Big emphasis on face-to-face. Okay, so that tells me that there has been some miscommunication or non-communication, or somebody's getting in their feelings. There's maybe some like stonewalling, maybe some resentment, maybe just not listening, which I'm a big, what's the word? I'm guilty of this quite often. I ask a question, I'll go, like, we're all in the kitchen, say. My husband, shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. My husband, Paul, he's amazing. Go check him out. We'll be talking. My daughter comes in. She's yelling. She turns on the Alexa. She's got Britney Spears on. She's in a Britney Spears phase. She's 4 years old. It's really loud. All the stuff going on. And yeah, you're trying to communicate, but you're my husband's telling me something, my daughter's telling me something, the cat all of a sudden is meowing for some reason, and I'm thinking, how many more hours until I can take my socks off? Yes, I'm neurodivergent. I'm like timing. How long do I have to wear socks for? When it's cold. And, and I don't listen. And I have to say, I'm sorry, say that again. Or I just go off of what I think maybe was said and I just bridge the gap there. Not always correct. And so I see this and I'm like, yeah, I understand this. This is like when you got to stop, turn the music off one at a time. Everybody waits their turn to say something. We're going to stop. We're going to look at each other. We're going to listen. We're going to repeat what the person said to us so we know for sure I heard what you said. Okay, we're all on the same page. This is the energy, okay? Now, over here, we have two things being fed to a snake, okay? I don't think that this is on accident. I don't think it's like somebody is getting over on you. Now, maybe they got over on you once. Maybe they fooled you once. But the second time, you're going to make sure they understand what's up. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. We're not going to get into it. That's up to you to figure out. But it's not bad for you, okay? But I do think it is. You are definitely going to let things be known, right? You're not going to let somebody walk all over you. You're not going to let somebody lie to you. You're not going to let your kids, run game on you. You're not going to let that significant other of you, mislead you. You're not going to let the person down the street, I don't know, continually, like, I don't know. I can't even think of a situation, but it seems like, and maybe this is just like my own conversations I've had with people recently and so on. A lot of people seem like they are in disharmony with their local communities, especially in like neighborhoods. I don't know what's going on. The world is, obviously how it is. We all know. We've all seen the news. We've all been on, whatever platform and seen. People are scared. Things are not going well for a lot of people. There's no promise, right? We usually have at least like a sense of security or, the delusion of such. But right now, it's kind of like, where are we headed? Nobody knows. And I think a lot of people don't trust themselves. I think a lot of people don't, at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know, you're either a person that says, if whatever happens, I'm going to show up and do what the heck I need to do, and that's how you go through life. You just know, I got to do the dang thing. I'm not going to, what else do I have? What other choice do I have? Or you're somebody who, doesn't know. You don't know. You don't know who's supposed to be running this, who is supposed to be giving me the answers, what do I do if, and we all have these moments where it's like, I need somebody to lead me or give me some kind of, clarity about what's going on here. And I think, a lot of people are realizing that doesn't really exist. It is an illusion. It is. And I feel like that causes a lot of disharmony because people are afraid. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know how to, kind of pull it together and show up for themselves, show up for their families. And so I feel like, in this, whatever you have going on with this person who is a snake, I mean, they're obviously, and they are not very covert about it. I just feel like we got to solve the issues and not get too into the muck of it all, right? Because a lot of people, this is the other thing, people are not behaving rationally, right? They're not using not their intuition, but they're definitely not thinking about consequences or like, rational, logical, patterns of how things are going to play out, or what does this mean, right? Like what's going to happen if I behave this way or do this thing or treat this person this way or whatever. You see, increasingly, people are really dwelling in a reactive place, and they're in a posture of fight or flight or, whatever. And so I feel like you need to be careful. Of course, we all do. But also, I'm as reactive as anybody. A good example is here on YouTube. Sometimes the comments are wild. Not only on my channel, but my husband's channel. And do you think that I don't want to go in on somebody every once in a while? You don't think that I want to like just absolutely, crash out? Of course I do. Of course I do. But you know what? Is it worth it? Right? Is it worth it? Like what what is going to happen? I'm going to say the thing. I'm going to feel real slick for a moment. And then it's like, then I feel bad. Then I feel worried. Then I'm just like, that was not good energy to get involved in. I absolutely did not show up for myself, you know? And it's like, somebody let you get out of yourself, you know? They won, you know? And so sometimes we have to consider maybe reserving our energy, learning how to just kind of, you know, what did Jay-Z used to say? Like, wipe the dirt off your shoulder, keep it moving, you know? But whatever it is, I feel like there is at least beginning of a closure. Whatever the two is, I'm interested, but at least in America, that could be something wild, man. Anyways, we have the letters R-Y, Rye, maybe? Ryan, possibly. Oh, and the key. Yes, the key. Here's the big thing. I feel like you are really coming into Capricorn. Coming into a period of time where you're letting yourself be a little bit more of the fool, but also really employing that magi, magician, magus energy that you fully encapsulate. Okay? Because you're a world builder, you're a system runner. You understand all of the little fine details. You are good at getting things going. Not always great at being present. Not always great at enjoying or partaking in the things that you build. But I do feel like finding that balance in this next period of time is really going to be the key for you. And that's why we have the person carrying the key there. Now, we have something about writing that seems really important. We also have, it looks like ale, A-L-E, ale. Over here, we have a quill. So I feel like there is this calling, and they're pointing, two of them, 1, 2, towards the quill. There's a person here, there's a person right here pointing. So I feel like this is a call to journaling, diary, maybe starting your memoirs. And one of my favorite projects that I like to talk about on here is getting yourself a little like voice recorder, a little notebook, and going around to the older people in your family, in your friends group, in your community, not just the older people, heck, anybody, right? And starting to document their stories. I know that sounds weird, right? Like, oh, I don't run a podcast, Lenor. Like, why would I go recording people? Yeah, because someday you're going to want to remember these stories. Someday you're going to want to hear them. Someday you're going to have, great grandkids that are going to, probably have access to like all of your internet history or whatever, everything you've done on the internet. But they're not going to be people likely, I don't know for sure, but likely they will not be people who exist in the analog world. Where everything is offline, like it used to be. And so to have that connection between older people who grew up partially in the world without internet, without cell phones, without, personal computers and things, I think is going to be so important, okay? The people like myself and like yourself who probably grew up with, fairly minimal technology, TVs, radios, that kind of thing. But certainly not, Google or YouTube or anything like that. It's going to be important to document our stories from before and our stories from, how it is once we've hit that, whatever, something similar to like the singularity, right? The rise of technology. So I find it very interesting when I'm doing a reading and I find somebody who has an interest in their own histories. So 100%, I think that if you are interested in doing something like that, please do. Please do. Okay, so we have a person who is praying. And I feel like this is about fertility. Somebody in your life who really has tried and tried and tried. And so I am going to take a moment and pray for them. And so you should as well, if you're a praying person. This is somebody who it feels like a daughter, but I don't think it's an actual daughter. Like, I don't think you raised them. I don't think that you consider this your daughter, but they feel, like maybe it's like somebody at work or maybe your friend's daughter or something like that. But I see there being, they're in a period of kind of the melancholy, but I do see there being a rising here. Now, I don't know if there will be a child, but what I do know is they're going to create something with this desire they have to have a family, to build a life and to raise somebody in that life, And so I feel like whatever happens in that regard, I hope for the best, but I also think that this is the thing that is going to allow them to really push through any kind of fear or continuing to put off, to create something where their voice is heard. Okay. And I think that's very important. Okay. So we're going to do our 3 lucky numbers. 41, number 41, 36, 90. All right. And we're going to end with our Indigo Sage affirmation cards. And I'm going to flip through, stop where it feels right. And we have number 6, entrance, love, trance, meditate, and appreciation with flowers. Each is a portal to divine love. All right. Capricorn, I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here with me. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Please take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days from now. Good night.